Hello everyone, Railgan here, and today we're going to analyze some replays. This is going to be the first of, I believe, 4 replays, unless somebody else sends one in. I think we're going to have like 5 or 6 replays that I'm going to analyze. First replay is of the player Ephemeros. I think it's called Assassin Sex. I don't know. That's his name on Reddit, and he's Silver League 1, and he sent me this replay to analyze, so we're going to have a look at it. He said that he thinks he did put on some pretty good pressure during the game, but was unable to close it out. At the same time, he also says that injects and creep were suboptimal. He took too much damage thinking at his natural of what to do, slow responses late, blind, spores, spines, evo chambers downtime, etc. So I guess he wasted a lot of money. So let's have a look at what we're going to see in this game. He opens with a standard hatch gas pool. Looks pretty good to me so far. Replays on an old patch, so we cannot show you the nice new overlay WCS one. Drones up, puts the drones immediately in the gas, that is fine. He gets a little bit more gas. His opponent is going for a double barracks. No orbital build. He goes double queen. Interesting. The 4 links to deal with the reapers. He gets the link speed. He keeps mining gas. Curious what he's going to do with that. A mistake a lot of lower league players make is that they mine gas as Zerg when they are not going to use it. So I hope he is going to use that gas. Kind of, given the fact that he already is at 100 gas and hasn't spent any of it, I'm kind of doubting that. As I always say, guys, don't mine resources if you're not going to use them. Never do that. Never do that. And he builds a spine. Well, I mean, okay, so building a spine would make sense, kind of, because he sees the opponent didn't expand. But we would build the spine here. He said late blind spores. I mean, he puts 1 per mineral line, I guess that's okay. He's pretty far ahead, he goes for the roach one. So he does spend the gas, but it's a bit slow. Takes the 3rd base. I mean, overall, I like what he's doing. I think his injects are pretty much on point. He didn't really build additional queens very quickly, so he doesn't have creep spread yet. Usually you start your next queen as soon as your first 2 are done, so you can get that creep spread going real quick. He's getting overload speed right now. I think that makes sense as well, given the fact that he hasn't scouted his opponent, and actually I don't know what his opponent is doing. It's Silver League, so this guy plays a bit better than Silver League though, I think. This is definitely not Silver League level play. He even saturates the mineral line back to minerals, like full mineral saturation. He gets the 3rd base in timely fashion, a bit late I think, but it's okay. Attacked by reapers. He's even active with the units, like he builds the units and attacks the rocks instead of just having them stand around. That also makes a lot of sense. What else did he say? He said, after I've warmed up, my creep and inject seem to be there, but sometimes I'll forget to do it. Also, lair timing is iffy along with taking thirds at slow times. Deciding when to attack is also a big problem. I usually wait till I have a big army and attack instead of harass. Drops are also a problem. Yeah. I mean, in this kind of scenario where you get all division on him, like you see he hasn't expanded, you should maybe check for corner expansions or something like that. But overall you played this pretty good so far. You don't really need to drone too much. It's really important that you know what he's going to do. I think I would build spores at the very latest right now. But I mean, he obviously doesn't have a starport, but if my opponent did something like this, I would expect Banshees or Ravens, because everything else I could hold. I would also just build the Baning Nest for safety. But I mean, overall this looks pretty good so far. The lair, I usually get the lair as soon as I hit 100 gas if I want to go for a fast lair. If you mine the resources, just use them. But usually you would stop mining gas so you until like 3 minutes 30 when you have both mineral lines saturated, and then retake gas while you drone up your 3rd base. So you have a better flow. in terms of gas, because that way you can drone faster and expand faster. The reason why your expansion timing seems late is because you mine so much gas so you can't afford it, or you have to cut a queen. You can also spam inject in scenarios like these. I mean, you're pretty much being left alone here, so it's expected that you macro pretty well. I mean, could definitely be in a better situation right now, but you should also be more active with your units. You got Overlord speed, but I don't think you actually scouted, which is, well, given the scenario we're in, pretty bad. You get 1-1, that's good. You get it for the Roach Ravager. It's okay. Should also take a... usually when I have my third drone up, I immediately take the fourth. Well, I mean... he's on one base, like... you're on 3 bases against the 1 base turns. I don't think you're going to lose this. Your reinforcement roaches should be enough. And it's a pretty one-sided game that you're showing. But I mean, your opponent played a 1 base opener, I don't know, I think this guy's pretty new to the game or something. He played 1 base with double turrets and then double barracks with a late orbital, doesn't even mule. So you're clearly way better than him. But I would strongly advise you against taking gas that you don't need. It's something I tell everybody. And from my experience, whenever I told that somebody and they actually stopped mining the gas, it really helps them a ton. Just look up at the proper timings for the build or composition you want to play, and usually it's just stop mining gas until 3:30, and unless it's a CVC, in which case you need a fast bane nest. But your upgrade timings are okay. You need the faster third, like 7 minutes 30 the latest, a little bit earlier than that usually, just so you can keep mining, because your main base will start to mine out like 50%, and then you need to send 8 workers over here. That's why you take the fast base. And yeah, I mean, you cannot close it out, I guess. I mean, if you would just pile them, yeah, kill them. Played it pretty safe, but overall he was dead from the get-go, I think. So pretty one-sided game. Doom drop incoming. Yeah, doom drop. Not really a doom drop. When it was everything he had, I guess. You also asked for Ling Roach Ravager, Hydra Infestor army ratios. Ling Roach Ravager, first of all, that's not really a good composition. You either go Ling Ravager Infestor against Terran, or Roach Ravager Hydra. The Lings are kind of useless without the upgrades. I sometimes go Ling Hydra Lurker, but I think if you build Lings, you also need Bane Lings and get the melee upgrades. And then, usually if I go Roach Ravager, the ratio is just build as many roaches as you can with the minerals, and then build as many Ravagers as you can with the spare gas. More Ravagers is usually better for me. And Roach Ravager Hydra Infestor army ratios, I don't know, get a decent amount of Infestors, like 2 to 4, because you're not going to be able to use many more. And then I only get a couple Roaches usually, and then a lot of Hydras, and a couple Ravagers, like 6 Ravagers. So I can snipe 2 tanks with 3 Bile Siege. I get like 10 Hydras, 12 Hydras, and like 10 Roaches. Or more Roaches, more Hydras. I always keep Roach Hydra count around even. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, I mean, you said drops are a problem for you, the big army attack. You attack with a big army instead of harassing. I think you should just scout more with the overlords and stuff that you actually have. And the big army attack isn't really, I mean, I don't know, it's okay if you don't harass much. Usually if you build units, you have to use them. You did that well, at least early on. You only built the units once you saw what he was doing. Maybe it was just an accident, but at least looked correct to me, because you droned pretty well. It took quite a while to drone up the third, but you were playing against a 1-base Terran, so what can I say? Overall, get the faster queens, stop mining gas, take a faster third, and you will do a lot better. Hope this helped you. Do-do.